Welcome to Ignorance Unleashed with your host Salvatore Cavalieri. In just 10 minutes, enjoy no nonsense insights with a dash of humor and absurdity, approved by his psychiatrist and wife because they agree he needs this outlet.
Hey, so today we're going to talk about numbers, okay? And numbers that hopefully are going to make you, ooze in juice, okay? Is the juice of money. I guess it's green. I don't know. Anyway, that's what they tell me. So I think you have heard that numbers do not lie. So in the world of investing, real estate investing, most commonly people talk, especially the gurus and the experts, they only talk about cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. I am tired of the cash flow, actually. Cash flow is very nice. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't bug me at all. But it does bug me when money is left on the table. I have seen a lot of properties being passed on because the cash flow is negative, or at least is negative in the first months, but then it turns into positive cash flow. And also, the most important item that investors are leaving, especially flippers, okay, they're leaving on the table, it is that they're not keeping the property. Therefore, they're not taking advantage of the equity appreciation. Again, we're talking in the market of Florida. Okay, generally it's a very good market. There are some areas that they are not. Okay, they are not going to move. But anyway, so you have to invest your property. You have to buy that in a market, in a zip code, okay, that is growing. Actually, we have a tool that we use where we have about 15 to 17,000 zip codes loaded into the system. It's called a Wealthmaker calculator that I created, over the years, and this system holds the returns that zip codes have gotten over 30 years. Okay, so with that said, think about this: you have certain markets where you have cash flow, but the property is not increasing in value. So is cash flow so important that the increasing value is not important? It's super important, because as the property gets older, you're going to need some money probably to push out of the property in order to sustain the maintenance of the property that's getting older, right? So equity appreciation is extremely important also, because you may sell that asset, take those profits, use a 1031, take those profits and buy the next bigger thing. You upgrade. So there are certain markets in the United States where you have cash flow and you have no equity appreciation. And a lot of investors are flocking to those places because they're just blindly thinking about the cash flow. There are other markets where you have negative cash flow and still appreciation of the property. Okay? And there are markets that you have cash flow and appreciating of the property. Excellent, and we're going to go over those numbers right now in one example that I have here. So I titled this podcast today, Leaving Money on the Table, which happens every day. There is a massive obsession with cash flow. Cash flow is excellent, but it's not the whole picture, okay? So I've seen a lot of good properties being passed on because initially does not have a positive cash flow. Now, you, the expert there, the smart guys, if you have a property that has negative cash flow, before passing over the property, think about this. Is this C property in a B neighborhood that you can turn into a B property in a B neighborhood? What about if you add washer and dryers and now the property is way more attractive? What about if you improve the exterior of the property, landscape, and looks much more appealing? What about if you improve the interior of the units and you increase rent? Sometimes those expenditures are investments that they're going to pay off dramatically. Okay? So being concentrated on only the cash flow really is a very dumb question. Okay? So let me share this screen. So I'm going to explain it to you as easy as possible. Okay. So let me go over here. Okay. Now, so let's go And let's do some analysis depending on positive cash flow versus appreciation or no appreciation. So let's look at the first example. Let's assume we have a property that has positive cash flow, but no appreciation. So let's look at the formula. 3,000 cash flow, 0 appreciation, and the investment was $10,000. Well, if you do the calculation, it's 30% cash on cash and 30% return on the investment. It had 0 appreciation. Okay? And it gave a good return. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Number 2, positive cash flow plus appreciation. So this particular property gave a $1,500 cash flow appreciation, increased also in value about $1,500, and the investment was $10,000. Cash on cash 50%, and return on the investment 30%. Okay? Imagine. Okay? Now, let's look at the next one. Okay? This is the one that's going to be controversial for many that have not done these numbers because they're just following the herd. Don't be a herd. Don't be a sheep. Run the numbers. Okay? So cash flow. Oh my God. Is even. There is no cash flow. But there is an appreciation of $3,000 to the property. Divided by $10,000 of investment. There you go. Cash on cash, of course, is 0, but return on the investment is 30%. 30%. Okay. So what are you going to say about this? You just passed on the property is very good. Okay, let's look at this one. Sample number 4. Negative cash flow plus appreciation. Here comes a property that gave you a negative $1,000 appreciation. I mean, a loss, and then appreciated by $4,000. Okay? $3,000. Then you have an investment of $11,000. $10,000, of course, was the purchase of the property, but then you needed to put $1,000 out of your pocket. Okay? So, of course, cash on cash is nothing, but return on the investment is 27%. Okay? And right there, if you're in your office, copy these formulas, do it with bigger numbers. Let's see. Let's see if you can prove that this is wrong. And then next one here. Okay. Positive cash flow, but negative appreciation. Okay. You know, a positive cash flow for $1,000. The equity contracted minus $1,000. If you do the math, 3,000 over 10,000 gave you a 40% cash on cash and 30% return on investment. Okay? So in these examples, you can see that no cash flow and negative cash flow, if the property is appreciating, gives you tremendous return on the investment of your money. So I think for those who are not believers, who passed on a property, you really need to sharpen your pencil and think, well, you know, I may have a negative cash flow at the beginning and I can manage it. You know, you want to make sure that you're not going to struggle yourself financially. Okay, probably should have said that earlier. But you should look at these numbers and see that the numbers do not lie. So do not leave money on the table. That's the message I have here. I have seen so many investors just passing on property because of this, which I picked up. Okay, so hey guys, you want to run your business by listening to other ones, or have any of you run these numbers? You know, please comment, join the channel, of course, comment below and say if this number don't make sense. Numbers don't lie. So do not leave money on the table ever. Okay? Besides that, you know, there is another formula which we're going to go pretty short, which is the cash throw off. It's even more exciting than this one. So negative cash flow and no cash flow, you still can have an amazing return. Okay? So with that said, make it a great day and do not leave money on the table. Otherwise, I'm going to go and look for you. Take care.